Jessica Alba and Cash Warren are beginning a new chapter. The March 16th filing, obtained by E! News, reveals how the former couple is splitting their assets.
Jessica Alba, the golden girl of Hollywood, rose to fame with beauty, talent, and a career that captured the world's attention. Married to producer Cash Warren, she seemed to have it all: family, success, and a life many envied. But behind the cameras, in private homes and quiet moments, their marriage struggled under trust issues, long years of sacrifice, and fading romance. After 16 years, at 44, Jessica finally shares the truth. How did it end, and what does it reveal about love, family, and choosing oneself? This is the story. The finalized divorce. Jessica Alba and Cash Warren have officially ended their 16-year marriage, bringing closure to a relationship that began with youthful dreams and grew into a family and a life in the public eye. After more than a decade and a half together, a judge finalized the divorce just 1 month after the initial filings, making the split official and legally binding. For many fans, the headlines only told part of the story. But behind the paperwork lies a far more complicated and deeply human journey. From the outside, their marriage often looked picture-perfect: red carpet appearances, shared projects, and a family of 3 beautiful children painted a portrait of unity, love, and shared ambition. Fans saw a couple who managed to balance Hollywood careers, entrepreneurial ventures, and parenthood with apparent grace. However, anyone who has been in a long-term relationship knows that the reality behind closed doors can be very different. Marriages evolve, people change, and sometimes love alone is not enough to keep 2 lives aligned. The finalization of Jessica Alba and Cash Warren's divorce may mark a legal ending, but it cannot erase the many years of shared memories, sacrifices, and challenges that shaped their lives together. This decision to part ways came only after deep reflection, heartfelt conversations, and mutual understanding. While the judge's signature officially closes this chapter, the emotional journey had been unfolding long before, through struggles, growth, and moments of connection that defined their marriage. The divorce is not just an ending, it is the beginning of 2 separate paths forward. This new chapter represents more than just the end of a marriage. It signals a moment of self-discovery, reflection, and growth for both of them. Each will now navigate life on their own terms, redefining what it means to balance personal happiness with shared responsibilities, particularly as parents to their children. The headlines may focus on the divorce itself, but the real story lies in the subtle human choices that led to this point, the struggles, compromises, and realizations that are familiar to anyone who has ever faced the painful but necessary decision to part ways. For Jessica and Cash, closing this chapter is not about failure or loss. It is about acknowledging that love, while powerful, sometimes evolves into something different, and that moving forward can be the bravest choice of all. The marriage between Jessica and Cash, which once reflected success, thriving careers, entrepreneurship, and the joy of raising beautiful children, has now come to an end. But what really led to the collapse of a relationship that once appeared so strong? And what efforts did they make to try to save their marriage before the separation became inevitable? Let's find out. Why Jessica and Cash parted ways. Jessica Alba and Cash Warren's marriage was not without its challenges. Over the years, the couple faced ups and downs, working hard to maintain their relationship while managing the pressures of careers, family, and public life. Therapy sessions and long conversations were part of their efforts to repair the cracks. Yet some issues proved harder to overcome. Sources close to the couple reveal that trust problems and repeated arguments slowly wore away at the foundation of their romance, leaving moments of distance and frustration that neither could ignore. Communication, which is often the lifeblood of any marriage, began to falter. What had once been an effortless understanding between two people grew more complicated as years passed. Differences in priorities and approaches to life slowly pulled them in separate directions. Alba, in particular, experienced a shift in her focus after stepping down as Chief Creative Officer of The Honest Company in 2024. With more space to reflect on her personal goals, she began to recognize that the relationship, while filled with love and shared history, was no longer serving the emotional needs of either partner. Despite the struggles, the decision to part ways was not one-sided. Both Jessica and Cash understood that the marriage had run its course and that continuing on the same path would not be healthy for either of them. It was a conscious and mutual choice, made with respect for each other and for the life they had built together. While the romantic aspect of their relationship was ending, their commitment to their children remained strong, and both were determined to continue working together as co-parents and business partners. The decision to separate was not a failure but a recognition of reality. It reflected a maturity and self-awareness that many couples never reach, an understanding that love sometimes evolves into something different, and that letting go can be an act of care and respect. For Jessica and Cash, ending the marriage was a step toward creating a healthier, more balanced life, allowing them to focus on personal growth, family, and the future. Their story is a reminder that relationships are complex and that sometimes the bravest choice is to step away while maintaining dignity, respect, and love for what was once shared. Trust issues, repeated arguments, and Jessica's shifting priorities, which could not be resolved, led to the separation of the once envied couple. But what became of their shared investments? Will only one of them have access to the investments, or will they be divided equally? Now, let's delve into how Jessica and Cash navigated the financial split of their shared assets. Dividing a life together. The divorce between Jessica Alba and Cash Warren was not just an emotional turning point, but also a complex process of untangling shared assets that had been built over 16 years together. Behind the headlines of Hollywood glamour and family photos lies a careful division of property, designed to be fair and responsible, even amid the emotional strain of ending a long-term marriage. According to the finalized documents, Jessica and Cash will split their shared investments, homes, furniture, artwork, and other valuable items acquired during their time together. These community assets represent a lifetime of memories, milestones, and accomplishments, making their division a delicate and thoughtful process. The goal was not only to follow the law, but to do so in a way that honors the contributions and sacrifices each partner made over the years. Among the financial arrangements, Jessica has agreed to pay $5 million from the sale of one of their homes, ensuring that the division of property reflects both fairness and the reality of joint ownership. On top of this, she will set aside $500,000 specifically for their children's expenses. This provision underscores the couple's shared commitment to their children, placing their well-being and stability at the center of decisions, even while their family dynamic shifts. What makes this process particularly noteworthy is how it balances practical financial matters with respect for the emotional side of a marriage ending. Every asset carries a story, whether it is a home where the children grew up, a piece of art that marked a special occasion, or investments that supported their careers and business ventures. By dividing these assets thoughtfully and transparently, Jessica and Cash demonstrate a level of maturity and cooperation that allows them to close this chapter with dignity. Ultimately, the division of property is more than a list of numbers or homes. It is a reflection of a relationship that, while no longer romantic, still holds mutual respect, shared responsibilities, and care for the family they built together. Amid heartbreak and change, these arrangements provide a stable foundation as both Jessica and Cash move forward into their new lives, each carrying memories, lessons, and a commitment to their children's future. Beyond the sharing of property amicably between the former lovers, how will both of them approach the royalties that define their careers? Will those be shared as well? And how will they ensure that neither party is hurt by the division? Now, let's explore how Jessica and Cash divided career profits with fairness and respect. Shared success, separate futures. The financial side of Jessica Alba and Cash Warren's divorce extends far beyond homes, furniture, and investments. It also touches on the careers and creative ventures they built together over the course of their 16-year marriage. Both Jessica and Cash contributed to one another's successes, supporting and celebrating achievements, while also juggling family responsibilities and public scrutiny. As part of the divorce agreement, they have carefully divided profits earned from projects completed during their time as a married couple, ensuring a fair and balanced approach that acknowledges each person's hard work and dedication. Jessica will receive half of Cash's producing profits from projects developed during the marriage, while he will collect 50% of her acting royalties and residuals. This includes earnings from blockbuster films and television appearances such as Machete, Valentine's Day, and other ventures linked to her career and personal brand, including her involvement with The Honest Company. By dividing career profits in this way, the couple recognizes the significant investments of time, effort, and creativity each brought to their shared journey, offering financial fairness while also respecting the personal and professional achievements of both. At the same time, the agreement ensures that both Jessica and Cash can maintain their independence as they move forward. Any projects, earnings, or creative work completed before their marriage or developed after their split remain entirely the property of the individual who created them. This clear distinction allows each of them to continue building their careers freely, pursuing new opportunities, and following their passions, while still recognizing and respecting the contributions and successes they shared during the years they spent together. The division of career profits illustrates a level of thoughtfulness and maturity in the midst of a difficult personal transition. It is more than a matter of numbers or percentages. It is an acknowledgement of shared effort, personal growth, and respect for each other's ambitions. Even as their romantic relationship comes to an end, this arrangement reflects a continued partnership rooted in fairness, dignity, and recognition of what they accomplished together. By carefully balancing shared earnings with individual independence, Jessica and Cash demonstrate that even after a marriage ends, it is possible to separate lives without erasing the contributions, successes, and dedication that shaped a meaningful chapter of both of their stories. Both partners approached the sharing of the royalties they built together without hurting each other's feelings. But what becomes of their children? Will the responsibility of caring for them be shared as well? Or will they choose to co-parent despite the separation? And what arrangements have been put in place for their children? Let's find out. Putting the children first. At the heart of Jessica Alba and Cash Warren's divorce is the unwavering focus on their 3 children, Honor, Haven, and Hayes. Even as the couple ends their romantic relationship, they are determined to maintain a stable and nurturing environment for their kids, prioritizing their well-being above all else. Rather than allowing their separation to create chaos or uncertainty, Jessica and Cash have established a clear, structured approach to co-parenting that ensures both children and parents know what to expect. The divorce agreement grants them joint legal custody, meaning that big decisions affecting their children, such as schooling, healthcare, and other major life choices, will be made together. This collaborative approach emphasizes that, although the marriage has ended, their partnership as parents remains strong. By working together on these critical matters, Jessica and Cash are demonstrating a shared commitment to raising their children with love, consistency, and respect for one another's perspectives. Day-to-day decisions, like homework routines, meals, or extracurricular activities, are left to the parent who currently has physical custody. This provides each parent with practical authority while still honoring the larger cooperative framework. The agreement also sets clear boundaries for medical and mental health decisions, requiring that one parent notify the other at least 48 hours in advance unless there is an emergency. This attention to detail reflects a deep understanding of the importance of communication and coordination, even amid a major life transition. Beyond the legal formalities, the co-parenting plan reveals the very human side of Jessica Alba and Cash Warren's divorce. It shows that even though their marriage has ended, both remain deeply committed to their children's well-being, happiness, and stability. Rather than letting conflict take over, they are choosing cooperation, thoughtfulness, and accountability in every decision. Their approach proves that while romantic love may change, the bonds of family can endure. It's a powerful reminder that endings don't have to mean the loss of connection or care. In a world where celebrity divorces often descend into public battles, Jessica and Cash's approach stands out as measured, responsible, and deeply caring. Their children remain the central priority, and this structured co-parenting plan reassures them that, although their family is evolving, it will continue to be filled with love, attention, and guidance from both parents. Both parents have taken it upon themselves to co-parent their children regardless of their marital status. But do they still have future obligations beyond caring for their children? And how does it feel to go their separate ways, despite the many years they spent together? Let's uncover the details. Embracing a new chapter. One of the most significant aspects of Jessica Alba and Cash Warren's divorce is their decision to waive any future spousal support obligations. By doing so, both parties achieved financial closure, removing potential points of tension and allowing each to move forward independently. This choice reflects a level of maturity and mutual respect that is not always seen in high-profile separations, signaling that their focus is no longer on money or legal entanglements, but on creating space for personal growth, healing, and new beginnings. Since the separation, Jessica has dedicated herself to embracing life on her own terms. Away from the pressures of maintaining a marriage, she has turned her energy toward personal development and positivity, using the experience as an opportunity to reflect, reset, and rediscover her passions. On Instagram, she shared a heartfelt message looking back on the past year, describing it as one filled with connection, growth, adventures, laughter, peace, sisterhood, transformation, rebirth, joy, and so much love. These words offer a glimpse into the mindset of a woman who is intentionally choosing to focus on what brings her happiness, fulfillment, and meaning. What makes Jessica's journey particularly compelling is how openly she acknowledges the combination of challenges and triumphs that come with starting a new chapter. Her reflections reveal not just a desire for joy, but a conscious effort to learn from the past, honor the lessons from her marriage, and embrace the possibilities of the future. There is a sense of empowerment in her approach, a recognition that ending a long-term relationship is not just about loss, but also about creating space for new experiences, growth, and self-discovery. This period of her life illustrates a broader truth about human resilience. Even after heartbreak, it is possible to cultivate peace, happiness, and purpose. Jessica's message resonates because it is authentic, grounded, and relatable, showing that she is not simply moving on, but moving forward with intention, clarity, and grace. Her choice to focus on love, joy, and transformation serves as a powerful example of how someone can take control of their own narrative and embrace the next chapter of life fully, without looking back in regret. Both former partners have ruled out any future obligations to each other and made it clear that they are happy with their decision to go their separate ways. But how will they navigate life after divorce? Will things stay the same, or will this split shape their lives in new ways? Now, let's explore how Jessica and Cash maintain their bond after divorce. Life after divorce. Even though Jessica Alba and Cash Warren have gone their separate ways as a couple, they have made it clear that their family remains a top priority. The end of their marriage did not mean the end of the connection they share as parents. Instead, both of them have chosen to focus on what matters most: their children and the special moments that bring their family together. In the months following their separation, Jessica and Cash have continued to show up for their kids in meaningful ways. They have been seen celebrating holidays and important milestones as a family, proving that their commitment to their children remains unchanged. Whether it is gathering together for Easter celebrations or organizing a fun-filled birthday outing for their youngest son, Hayes, at Universal Studios, these moments reflect their shared effort to keep family traditions alive. For their children, these experiences offer a sense of comfort and stability. Divorce can often bring uncertainty, but Jessica and Cash appear determined to ensure that Honor, Haven, and Hayes continue to feel surrounded by love and support from both parents. By coming together during important occasions, they send a clear message that their family bond still matters, even if their relationship as husband and wife has ended. Jessica's decision to step away from the marriage was not simply about ending something that was no longer working. It was also about creating space for a healthier and more balanced life for herself and her children. After many years of navigating the challenges of marriage, career, and family life in the public eye, she reached a point where she wanted greater clarity and peace in her personal world. Instead of letting the divorce define her future, Jessica Alba is choosing to embrace a chapter filled with growth, healing, and self-discovery. She is focused on creating a life that truly feels right for her, one guided by clarity and purpose. At the same time, she remains deeply committed to her role as a mother, making sure that Honor, Haven, and Hayes continue to experience joy, love, and memorable moments. Even amid personal change, she is building a balanced life where family, happiness, and fulfillment coexist. The way Jessica and Cash handle these shared family moments reveals a level of maturity and respect that many people admire. Their story shows that even when a romantic relationship comes to an end, the foundation of family can still remain strong. Through cooperation, understanding, and a shared love for their children, they are proving that it is possible to move forward while still honoring the life they built together. So, what do you think was the real reason the couple divorced? Could they have done more to make their marriage work? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.